In the rich tapestry of American coinage history, the Jefferson nickel holds a unique place, not only because of its long-standing presence in circulation, but also because of the way it reflects the character of the nation through both its design and the years of minting. When we look closely at the year 1984, the Jefferson nickel may at first appear like an ordinary everyday coin, one that passed unnoticed in the pockets and purses of millions of Americans. Yet when we pull back the curtain and study its origins, its design, its production history, and the larger events of its time, we begin to uncover a much deeper and more fascinating story, a story that reaches back to the Founding Fathers and forward into the modern era of minting technology. The Jefferson nickel first emerged in 1938, replacing the beloved Buffalo nickel, which had itself become a symbol of the American frontier by the late 1930s. The Buffalo design, though iconic, was difficult to strike consistently, and the U.S. Mint sought a change. The new design contest called for a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and an image of his Virginia home Monticello on the reverse. Felix Schlegel, a German-American sculptor, won the competition. His depiction of Jefferson offered a stately left-facing profile, while Monticello stood proudly on the reverse, symbolizing Jefferson's dedication to architecture innovation and his role as a statesman. Fast forward nearly half a century to 1984. The Jefferson nickel was, by then, a familiar sight in every American household. It was struck at three major facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint coins carried no mint mark in that era. The Denver Mint used the D mark, and San Francisco issued proof coins with the S mint mark. The composition of the 1984 nickel was the same as it had been since 1946, consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a silvery look, despite lacking any real silver content. To understand the significance of the 1984 Jefferson nickel, we must look beyond the metal and examine the context of the United States. At the time, Ronald Reagan was president. The Cold War was still an ever-present reality. The economy was undergoing shifts in industry and technology, and coin collecting was quietly gaining momentum among Americans. The nickel represented continuity. It was a link back to the vision of Jefferson, a founding father who valued democracy, science, and innovation. The coin carried his image every year, reminding Americans of his contributions, while also serving as a tool of commerce that passed hand to hand in grocery stores, gas stations, diners, and banks. One of the intriguing aspects of the 1984 nickel lies in its production numbers. More than 1 billion nickels were struck that year, combined between Philadelphia and Denver, making it a common coin in terms of availability. Yet within that massive mintage, we find fascinating varieties and errors that spark collector interest. Some 1984 nickels reveal misstrikes, double dies, and weak strikes, where details of Jefferson's hair or Monticello's steps appear blurry or doubled. These errors, while accidental at the mint, became treasures in the hands of collectors, each one a reminder that even in the precision of modern minting, human and mechanical flaws can create rare and valuable pieces. The San Francisco proofs of 1984 also hold a place of distinction. Proof coins are not meant for circulation. Instead, they are carefully struck multiple times on polished planchets, creating a mirror-like surface and frosted details. The 1984 S-proof nickel represents the highest quality of the year's production, a coin intended for collectors and investors. Often preserved in protective cases, these proof nickels embody the artistry of minting at its finest, capturing every line of Jefferson's face, every column of Monticello, and the word liberty written in Jefferson's own handwriting style. But to truly appreciate the Jefferson nickel, we must remember the man it honors. Thomas Jefferson was not only the third president of the United States, he was also the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. He was a philosopher, a scientist, an architect, and a statesman who believed deeply in the expansion of knowledge. He doubled the size of the nation through the Louisiana Purchase and sent Lewis and Clark on their journey westward. Monticello, his home, was more than a residence. It was a laboratory of ideas filled with inventions, books, and agricultural experiments. The nickel's design therefore serves as a miniature monument, a pocket-sized tribute to one of the most complex and influential figures in American history. The year 1984 itself is also rich with symbolism. It was the year George Orwell had immortalized in his novel decades earlier, a year that Americans viewed with both caution and curiosity as they compared the real world to the fictional dystopia it was also a year of cultural transformation, with advances in computers and technology beginning to reshape daily life coins. Like the 1984 nickel served as silent witnesses to these transitions, even as paper money, credit cards, and eventually digital transactions grew in importance. Coins still carried historical continuity from generation to generation. Collectors today seek out 1984 Jefferson nickels in high grades, particularly those preserved in mint state condition coins graded by professional. Services such as PCGS or NGC can reveal surprising value, especially if they show full steps on Monticello. The term full steps refers to the clarity of the design detail on the steps leading to Jefferson's home. Many nickels lack this sharpness due to weak strikes, but when the steps are fully visible, the coin becomes much scarcer and more desirable to collectors in circulation. Most 1984 nickels hold only face value 5 cents, but in uncirculated or proof condition, the story changes sharply. Gem quality examples can fetch significant premiums, while error coins command attention for their rarity. The beauty of the Jefferson nickel series lies not just in the coins themselves, but in the journey of discovery they invite collectors to take, whether one is examining circulation, strikes, hunting for errors, studying proofs, or seeking full steps. Designations: the 1984 nickel offers endless opportunities for learning and collecting. Joy. As the years pass, coins like the 1984 Jefferson nickel become more than mere pocket change. They evolve into historical artifacts, reminders of a particular time in American life, when Reagan was in the White House, when Cold War tensions shaped global affairs, and when Americans still relied heavily on coins in daily commerce. Each nickel becomes a small-time capsule, carrying within it the legacy of Jefferson, the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint, and the economic rhythms of the nation. The story of the 1984 Jefferson nickel is therefore not one of rarity alone, but of continuity, significance, and cultural resonance. It is a coin that connects the founding vision of Jefferson with the everyday lives of millions of Americans in the late 20th century. It is a coin that continues to circulate, reminding us of history even in the most ordinary transactions. And it is a coin that inspires collectors to seek beauty and meaning in the objects that pass unnoticed through so many hands. The Jefferson nickel of 1984 stands as a bridge between past and present, between art and utility, and between the ideals of a nation and the daily reality of its people.